What's going on, folks? Painless. I'm back, still alive and kicking. Wanted to talk about potential racism marketing in America, and I know this was I think a British family, a black British family, and the HMS and the young boy, the coolest monkey in the jungle. And I'll just get straight into this. What you're seeing now, and I've listened to some videos, I've read a lot of comments in those videos, and what I've seen is a disconnect between the generations, a lack of understanding or ignorance, which we know ignorance means not knowing, not that you're stupid or incapable of learning something, of historic instances in which the word monkey, ape, has been used to describe black people. And I think you have a lot of young 20-something-year-olds who have forgotten that or don't know that. And it's just a disconnect. And for people who say that monkey means nothing, who find no offense to that, I mean, why do they portray Michelle Obama as a monkey? Why do they call President Obama a monkey? And a lot of these people in these marketing firms and companies, they're young, 20 hipster Asian and white kids who they're so disconnected from anything. On top of young black kids who are disconnected, they see nothing wrong with this. They have no historical knowledge. They don't know about cartoons that portrayed black people as monkeys, big lips, big eyes, and things of that nature. I mean, very descriptive and overly done in these cartoons. You can Google them, you can YouTube these old cartoons. And they conveniently put a young black kid in that type of hoodie. And, these are the same people that make a lot of homosexual induced commercials. One comes to mind is the one Dr. Pepper commercial, in which you have a young black male. It looked like he's in a tailgating party, and you have these two men run up to take the last Dr. Pepper, and then it's a white guy that comes in who's usually in these Dr. Pepper commercials. He puts two straws inside the soda, and these two grown men are sucking soda out of the same cup. Well, now some of y'all may say, Painless, you're overreacting. But no, to me, that's a sign. I remember the Doritos commercial years back in which you had a black male in a steam room, and he looked like he was, feeling good, and it portrayed as someone was giving him a fellatio. And really they were digging for in a bag of Doritos. But guess who pops up? A white male. We have, and this is not just in America, this is globally. We have the Asian, I believe it was in Japan, correct me if I'm wrong, in which you had a washer, a clothes washer, and you had a black male jump into a clothes washer, into a laundry, and come out, and he's not black anymore. And these are the youngsters that are, and let me just say this, where some of you youngsters and hipsters who are saying you're overly sensitive, that people like me and my age and my whatever have you are overly sensitive. Look, a lot of you youngsters nowadays, you guys are some of the most sensitive, petty individuals in this. I mean, in human history up to this point. I know I can't obviously look back, but you're not cut from the same cloth as people like me. I've talked about how you have a lot of weak-muscled, soft-hand, feminine men nowadays who are still. You have men that are using Snapchat filters, but saying these are the same guys that are saying we're overreacting. But you're fucking using Snapchat filters. Okay? You get mad about likes and dislikes on your fucking pictures, on your IG and your Facebook. The problem is that it's not that we're overly sensitive, it's just you're fucking disconnected. You're scary. I remember a situation, and I'll talk about the parents here shortly. I had a situation in which I was working, and this older white lady, we were, talking, and she slipped up and said, "Yeah, that's my nigga," because I guess she had a black friend, a male friend, that she, was cool with, and she was telling us about a conversation, and then she went on to say, "Well, that's my nigga," and I sat there for a while, and then I said, "You know what, Colleen, can I speak with you out there in the hallway?" And she was older than me, and this happened maybe 4 years ago. I said, that using that word, I don't think that was very wise. Now, I didn't get all nigga on, but I said that wasn't a very wise thing to do, And she said, well, I apologize. I said, yeah, I was trying to be tactful and diplomatic, but yet being stern at the same time. And see, I don't think a lot of black people could have done what I've done. But see, these are the same black people that hoop and holler and say this and that. And I share that story as briefly as I did because I am far from sensitive. It says I grew up in a generation where those things were not condoned, where you got your ass kicked. A lot of these execs, these marketing execs, sit in a safe place, and they write off on these things. And the parents, to me, are like I said earlier, I think they're British background, Afro-British, whatever you want to call them. Very nonchalant about the situation. And I thought it was funny because the mother said she was called a monkey on a cruise ship, and that she reacted the way a lot of black people are reacting now. But then she turned around in the same breath and said that she doesn't see what the problem is with her son wearing that hoodie. Here speaking with a forked tongue. And I don't know if it was fame, and I know a lot of black people do shit for fame, for shits and giggles, for notoriety. You have grown men who sit around in the same t-shirt and hat all day and beg people to make fun of them. There's a lack of dignity in a lot of black people these days. And doing something like I did in sharing that story about the coworker makes you kind of look like you in your feelings or some shit, when in actuality, you're the one that's right and standing up. And I've told you about the world we live in now, where left is right, right is left, man is a woman, woman is a man, and all this sick, silly, confusing shit that we live in. Doing the right fucking thing may appear to the weak-minded, to the ones with less experience in life, as crazy. And I'm here to let you know that you keep pursuing, you keep marching on, you're doing the right fucking thing. It's just a lot of people here in this world are too fucking, especially in America, are too fucking cowardly, too fucking self-indulged, self-involved, narcissistic, men and women, to fucking say anything. That's what we got going on here, folks. All right? Always on the goddamn phones, snapping and IGing, about to get fucking ran over. No common sense. And excuse the fuck out of me for stating the obvious, all right? But it is what it is. So it's not about being sensitive. It's just you too fucking cowardly, or you don't fucking know the history, and you're just naive. You're just fucking naive. You don't know when the fucking stove is being turned up on your ass in the heat till it's too fucking late, and they put the damn top on the damn pot, and your ass can't jump out because you was trying to be inclusive and not trying to be sensitive. Now your ass is fucking cooking, and that's what you have a lot with these. A lot of young black folks can't even spot racism unless they're getting their brains beat in by a cop, but they don't understand, and still yet they don't fucking understand. You know? And I said about these young liberals that, that may not, these young white Asian liberals, and I throw Asians in there because I live in Hawaii, and there's a lot of fucking clueless ass, stupid ass fucking Asians here that are just as or probably worse than a lot of these white folks. Just, you got to be good with your words. And that's the thing I notice about a lot of Asians. They try to be petty and slick with their words, and I just shut them down. All right? But you got these young Asian white kids that, these Zuckerberg types that sit and come up with all these wild ideas, but they're just more racist than Billy Bob from Arkansas. Billy Bob from Arkansas knows better than this shit for the most part. Or he's too busy fucking working to feed his family. Yeah, he doesn't like niggers, but he's not gonna do no slick shit like this. And I've said that liberals, and I've said this before, places like California and New York, I've experienced the most racism than ever being home in Alabama. And that's the truth. All right? You got these educated racist motherfuckers in New York and California. They got these degrees, and they try to quantify every fucking thing and fuck you scientifically by using racism. These are the ones, with all the supposedly mathematical equations of why black people aren't as smart as white people or Asians, and they use the size of your brain or your head, your cranium, and all this shit. And those are the motherfuckers. Billy Bob from Mississippi, he's got his gun and his noose and his whatever, his pickup truck, and you can see him coming. But these educated racist, these liberal types, these are the ones that you need to watch. These are the same motherfuckers that put Jews in concentration camps. These scientists, these Nazi scientists that created all types of shit, that created lethal injection and gas chambers and IBM to print off numbers and all this shit. A lot of people don't know IBM was one of they are the ones that put the numbers on the Jews. Look it up. A major corporation that's still operating today was responsible for the output of those numbers that were put on Jews as they went and met their maker. But, these educated races, these are the ones, again, you need to watch out for. So I'm not being overly sensitive. I think the parents are very naive, and you couple that with a lot of, black folks doing shit for notoriety, a lot of turn the other cheek Negroes nowadays, here and abroad. It's sick. And you young generation, you don't even know when you're being shitted on. And I can tell when I see a black dude with pants kicked all up his ass, with a bunch of Asians or white kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am not against, you hang with what you hang with. But I always wonder if some shit pop off, will these white and Asian dudes have his fucking back? If he runs up on somebody and they call him a fucking jigaboo monkey or something like that, what the fuck are they going to do? I can tell you what they're going to do. They're going to bail on his ass. And that's the truth. Or some shit happen, he's going to be the one that's targeted. So, and he's probably the same motherfucker that thinks this shit is not offensive. Peace.